I'm just sitting here refreshing. Oh, what's up?
Hey, it's next on Cocktail Hour. We got started a little late today. My fault. I asked the girls if they would do 4 o'clock instead of 3:30. Brought to you by Constellation Brands, Blakelee's Bouquets. Today we are drinking Mayomi, which I love.
I do too.
It's the Chardonnay. I'm not a huge Chardonnay guy because I'm not a big white guy, but I still can drink it.
You are a big white guy. What are you talking about? You tall drink of water, you.
Very, very true. That is Kelly Hunter. That is Brittany Wagner. And cheers, you two.
Cheers.
I forgot a glass. I'm gonna. You know what?
You just drink it out of the bottle, Lance.
I'm gonna do. Was it Toby Keith that did the solo
cup song?
Yeah. Well, this one's a clear solo.
I'm telling. My mom asked me this last week. She's like, "Why are you always on your phone when you start?" Because I'm retweeting the link.
Yep. Retweet the link and getting ready for some interesting conversations about advice, adventure, adulting. We welcome.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
we just
laser focus.
Yeah.
We welcome your feedback. So jump on here. Any questions for the girls? Let us know.
Hi, Kelly's mom.
Yes, Laurel. Hello.
Does Laurel watch sometimes?
Laurel watches. Yes.
Okay.
Hi,
Laurel watches. So that's why I'm like.
Now I'm nervous. Like I shouldn't say certain things.
Well, I mean, do you ever? What's funny is like, do you ever think of yourself ever like watching, listening?
No.
When I was on TV, I never thought, or even on the radio, I never thought of anybody listening.
When I was married, there were some certain things that I don't know. Like the guys would bring stuff up, and
I just, like when you're on TV, like even like right now,
understandable.
Yeah. Like when you're on TV, like right now, people are like, aren't you nervous? I'm like, but it's literally a camera.
Yeah.
And it's even like a TV station.
No, when we were doing radio, though, when I first started doing that, because I've been doing it for over 20 years now, I would overthink that sometimes, especially when I was solo. Like this week, when they were in Louisville, they had to bow out. We forgot the camera battery, or they forgot the camera battery.
Oh, nice.
So they had to bow out for the 11 o'clock hour. So I did the 11 o'clock hour completely fine. But back in the day, I would have been thinking, holy shit, how many people are listening right now?
Yeah.
And if I if I freeze up, how bad is that?
Yeah. No, but it's, and then again, half the time you're like, well, no one's watching anyway. So that's what I would tell myself, especially on TV.
Yeah.
Well, we've got people watching. So jump on board. Again, we do this every Monday, typically at 3:30. I think we're switching to Tuesday.
We're switching to Tuesday.
Is that next week?
That's next week.
Okay, we'll be Tuesday. We'll let you know. We'll send stuff out.
I just found that out myself. So
Tuesday.
Let's start with advice. And this was Taylor Korn, our social media director, gave me this one. And boy, this could go a lot of different directions.
Is she adulting right now? Like, is she?
Yeah, so Taylor just turned 23. She was in a relationship for, I want to say 4 years, basically her entire college career. So she's having fun now. Yeah.
I just didn't know, like, I mean, I feel like she's more like, could be one of our children.
Yeah, she legit could be.
I know. So that's why I'm like, is this advice?
Yeah, no. So I don't even really consider her adulting.
I know.
Yeah, she's more like a kid sister to all of us up here.
Oh, yeah.
But she still lives at home, which most people that are 23 do. Like,
it's a weird age.
Yeah, like Leighton at 20, my daughter, well, not 20 quite yet. She's looking at these apartments and wants me to get her an apartment.
Y'all should move in together.
Well, she doesn't like. She wants things her way. She would never live with me again.
I remember when I was looking at Wake Forest, my dad did a lot of business.
And I would never live with her again.
He did a lot of business in Winston-Salem, and he's like, we could get an apartment. You could live there, and I could stay there with you when I'm in town doing business. I was like, and Winston-Salem and Wake Forest quickly went off the list.
Yeah.
I was like, I love you, Dad, but no.
But
anyway.
Yeah.
So that's a hard no.
That's a hard no. Okay, so anyway.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
So
back to advice.
Yeah. So we're going to start red flags in dating and friendships. So it's funny, and if she's watching, she'll know who I'm talking about. She's a client. She's awesome, but she's got a privacy screen. She just went through a divorce. And,
red flag.
A privacy screen is a red flag. It really is.
You know what else is a red flag? When you're somewhere with someone and they do this.
A phone down.
It's a red flag. Why do you need to turn your phone down?
Yeah.
Turn your phone up.
Here's the thing.
I have it down right now, so I'm not
what is a privacy screen?
So privacy screen, like literally,
it's like black.
Like if you were trying to look at my text right there, see nothing but black. Yeah.
See, I'm that out of the loop that I don't even know.
Privacy scring?
No.
Okay. Did you ever date a guy with a privacy screen?
What do you?
The guy I know. Yeah.
He had all kind of screens. And we all know why.
Yeah. So privacy screen, that's just one example. You guys probably have much more because I think there's probably more red flags with men than women. But the privacy screen, because I know, so a couple of Jack's friends have privacy screens that are like sophomores in high school. I guess it's like
that almost looks, that sounds shady.
Well, it's from what they're looking at school, and they don't want teachers to see it probably for kids that age, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Okay, a red flag for a friendship for me is someone who like can't commit to like the plans, like dinner, like you plan, like we're gonna meet for happy hour at 5 on Friday, and then Friday morning rolls around, and can't do Friday. Can you do Saturday? And then, can't do Saturday. Can't do 4. Can I
give you my example today? We were at dinner with another couple, and so they were talking about walking. Not the dude, the girl. She goes on these long, like 7-10 mile walks, and I'm like, it doesn't sound that tough. And she's like, it's really tough. So I planned to go on a walk with her between Mystery Fifth Hour today and this is why I pushed you guys back. But it just got so tight, it wasn't going to work. And so I sent her, hey, can't make it. And she had been waiting all day.
See that? No.
So I red flagged it.
You red flagged the friendship. I can't stand that because like when I plan my day around, like, I mean, I guess she planned her day, but like I plan my day around things. And then when you bail, it's like, oh my gosh. And sometimes, you think legit things happen, but when it's a friend where it's like a constant thing, and every time you make plans with them, you're like, is this for real?
And when they know your life too, especially when you have kids involved and job involved and everything else, you're like, okay, I am trying to restructure my whole day around being able to make this happen. And now it's fine.
So y'all are making me feel good about this. I do have like one of my best friends in the world. I did see him this past weekend, but he has just kind of disappeared during COVID, and people don't even talk about COVID anymore. But back 2020 really disappeared. And then he would make plans and be like, I really can't do it. I mean, it just kept, he just didn't want to get out.
Yeah.
But I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
But I think like your good friends, at least my good friends, know that like when I'm like, I'm sorry, like if we planned like we're going to watch a movie on Saturday night, everybody come if you can. I'm like, listen, my Saturday has fallen apart. I'm still at the ball field, blah, blah, blah. Like your good friends understand those things, but when you're still like in the introductory phase, or at least, or when something big is coming up.
All the time.
Or all the time.
Every time.
Or, exactly.
Another red flag, ghosting, like not responding, ghosting, like 3 or 4 days where you don't hear from someone, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the worst on that. And by the way, that's Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter. It's Next Round Cocktail Hour, brought to you by Constellation Brands. They've got us drinking the Meiomi Chardonnay. It's very good, crisp, dry. Also, Blakelee's Bouquets, anniversary arrangements, new baby gifts, birthday flowers, wedding flowers, funeral flowers, Blakelee's Bouquets.com. What was I saying?
We were talking
ghosting.
Oh, yeah,
not
ghosting.
Responding for 3 or 4
one of
days.
the worst.
Yeah. So the ghosting, I've lost my train of thought.
But then coming back, like for me, it's if you just ghost and then that's it, I never hear from you again. All right, whatever. Like clearly you weren't that into me. But if you ghost for 3 or 4 days and then you circle back, come on.
No, I know what I was going to say. When they have their red receipts on, and then you see that they've seen whatever you've sent, and then they don't respond.
Like, I know you've seen it.
Yeah.
And you're still just sitting there.
And I always wonder if people know they have those receipts on. Do you think they do?
See, I don't know. Well, I think of a certain age they may not, but I think people of a certain age absolutely know they have them on.
I remember one red flag for me was that I was meeting someone's new prospective boyfriend, and anytime we brought something up, he was the authority on it and would kind of take over the conversation.
He was the expert.
Yes, and I was like, and it wasn't. This is another thing that drives me crazy. Red flags. When you're having a conversation and they are not asking you any questions, you're clearly carrying the conversation because you're asking them all the you're asking all the questions, and they have zero desire to get to know you. But you're just sitting there.
See, I could talk about this all day. You know, another red flag?
Let's talk about it. Yes.
If you're wondering what I just did, by the way, Michael tells me it's International Whiskey Day, so I feel like I got to get a pull. If anybody else wants any.
Sure. I mean, if you're... Okay, well, we'll finish this and then
that,
we'll
let you there.
And you can surprise us. Don't give us whatever one you talked about that you said it was like the worst one you'll ever had.
I've never said that on Bama and Bourbon.
Okay, after Bama
Whoops.
bourbon, you walked out and said it was the worst one
Off
you've ever
the
had.
air.
I don't want that
No, we've
one.
got some delicious
I don't
ones
want the
back
one
here.
that's the most
Okay.
full back there.
Okay.
That's.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Yes, he
continue.
loves all the
I
bourbons
forgot.
he drinks. We were talking
Red
about all
flags.
the red flags. That
I know. Now I just forgot the one I was bringing up, though.
That's probably because people
I don't
just
remember what
God, we're
lose
getting
their train
old
of conversation.
when it's like I'm
I
brain
have to, like,
freeze,
write
your brain
down.
freeze.
the first part of my thought.
No, but what I was going to ask you guys in dating, though, and it's been a long time for you, but for you, it's been this week. I don't know. What are red flags with the apps?
Like
If a
similar,
guy says-
like making plans, not making plans.
What about
Here's
this?
a big
If
red
a guy
flag
says
for
he's
now.
6 feet, you know he's not, right?
He's shorter than whatever they post.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I have a 6 height rule anyway. So yeah.
But do you, so on apps, do you make it higher than 6 feet? Because if they say 6 feet, you know, they're probably 5'11".
No, I just, in my mind, I'm like, and I can look at all their pictures and I can like, you can kind of tell how tall people are.
See,
based
and
on
your
the
husband's
background or
tall, but
whatever.
you would never date a short guy, would you?
I don't. No, I mean, no one who's like crazy short.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 5'10".
You're tall, yeah.
So
Just try to be 5'10"?
yeah, I mean, that's my poor daughter, my oldest. She's over 6 feet tall, and so I'm like, dude, high school's rough trying to find somebody who's going to take you to a dance when you're already over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I was like, just hold on, just wait, it gets better.
Yeah, you'll grow into this.
And there will be plenty of other guys that
Right.
will appreciate tall women.
Because there are some dudes that just like tall women.
Then they have a type, exactly.
Yep.
But no, yeah, I'm curious about also like, I don't know, pictures or information that it would be a red flag that you would see.
Well, I feel like nobody's being completely honest on an app. Like, let's be real. Like, nobody's being completely honest. Now, I will say this, pictures, I'm like, if that's the best picture you have, like, you know, when you're building your app, like I would think you're looking for like the best photos you have of yourself. And some guys, I'm like, wow, if that's the best photo you have of you, then this is rough. Like,
Wow.
this is a rough camera roll.
But you know what's funny? I tell, like, when my single friends would be like, look at this. I go, there was someone else in the room taking that picture. Okay. Keep that in mind. This was not just a candid, like, look at me.
Yeah.
No, there's someone else as you're doing the yoga pose with, you know.
Yeah, but
CG
you would take her picture if she needed somebody to take app pictures.
But like the ones that are supposed to look like supernatural, you're like, no, there's.
Yeah.
I just remembered every time I would see like Tom and Giselle with their kids playing. I'm like, there was another person in the room taking this picture. Like it wasn't just this intimate.
But
moment
somebody was
before.
telling me though, if the guy is always got his kids in his picture, that's a red flag. I don't know why that would be, but
I don't know. I don't know about that. I like the gym mirror flexing selfie pose is a hard no for me.
What about the thirst trap Tom Brady picture where he was like on vacation right after the Super Bowl?
I don't know. What was that?
Do you remember that one? He was like in his underwear sitting on the side of the bed.
Oh God.
no,
like,
I don't. Did you dream this?
I did not dream this. I know. I will find it. I mean, I'm just like the thirst trap pictures do. They crack me up. Because I'm like, that's just a bit much.
Just be real. But I just feel like I don't put a whole lot of stock in the information or any, because I just feel like everybody's full of shit at this point.
Well, they are. It's next round cocktail hour.
Except for us.
Of course.
I mean, even I'm full
We're
of
all
shit,
saying.
so whatever.
I definitely am. Brittany
I know.
Wagner, Kelly Hunter. I'm Lance Taylor. Blakelee's Bouquets, Constellation Brands, Miami, California. Michael has informed us it is National Whiskey Day, so I poured a little nip here.
Michael.
John wants to know, Kelly, do you have any relation to the Hunters who played football for Springfield or St. Clair County? I'm going to answer no because you're from Georgia.
I am from Georgia.
Yeah.
So no, I don't. I'm sorry. But if they were great athletes, then possibly. But if they cause a lot of trouble.
I mean, Hunter's kind of a common name.
I know, but
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
Okay.
everybody's always looking for looking for kin that might have money or fame, which I don't have. But you know, anyway.
Okay, so any more red flags?
I mean, there's like hundreds.
What about, so I'm going to tell this story and I'm going to try to loosely base it on, I'm going to leave some of the actual facts out because it's a true story. But I knew a dude through a dude that was married with kids and he met this other girl. And so she never was able to spend the night at his place. Like he would spend the night at her place because he was traveling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, how it went down. Like I can't tell the full story because then it kind of charges the guilty.
I mean, stuff like that, where it's like you just never really get full access into someone's life. Like where, like you were saying, where they're always asking you questions. Like they're always, like I think when they're always questioning you or like want to talk about you, but like you never really talk about them, or they never volunteer the same information that they're asking you, then I'm always like, what are you?
But there's a balance because if they're talking about themselves too much.
Right. Like, but it should be a balance.
Yeah.
You know, and so like, to me, it's like anytime there's not a balance in all of it.
Yeah.
Like if you have 10 pictures and 5 of them are bad, but 3 of them are good. Like anytime, you know, or like, it's just anytime there's not a balance, I'm like,
how long do you think that would work with you guys if a guy was like, I'm traveling tonight, you know, my place is a mess, I'm just going to stay with you?
That's the Tom Brady thirst trap.
No, that's a hard no.
Okay.
No pun intended.
I know.
And even he's hot, but no.
I just was like, okay, because
guys everywhere.
Well, I mean, one of the things, like I always say, like if you are bringing someone to meet, like 3 of your best friends. And, you know, if I'm not, you know, if good, you want to get to know their friends. You want to talk to them, engage them, get to know how the back and forth conversation. You don't want to be the authority on everything that somebody brings up. You want to get to know everybody and not just assert your dominance.
So I got to tell you how the story ends up. I'm going to try.
They got a divorce.
Well, yeah, but no, they didn't. They're still together.
What?
Yeah, this is crazy. So anyway, her parents saw him. Have you?
Yeah.
Saw him with this other girl. And so they went and asked the other girl, like he had left that day. And so they saw the girl by herself and her friends. And they were like, how do you know this guy? She's like, we've been dating for 2 years. And they're like, interesting. He's been married to our daughter for 20 plus years. So
how can you be that cool? Like as the parent, the individual to just like be that
I think
cool
you're in shock probably.
You're in shock.
Yeah. Got to be in shock.
Believe me.
Yeah, because they're doing, you know, Thanksgivings and Christmases together, because I'm sure he was on the road for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Anyway, so red flags, there we go.
There's so many. I mean, we could do a whole 4-week series on red flags, to be honest with you, because
there's a lot.
Adventure. Okay, so this one just went to New York by herself.
What were you doing there?
I don't know if that's like I went to New York by myself, or if that's like I went to New York. Like I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Did you go just knowing that there's more men in New York City than anywhere else?
No, it had nothing to do with men.
Okay, so what were you doing? Were you working? Or
Okay, so I went because I did have a speaking gig in New York City, and so this company hired me. So I went, and my flight was paid for. 2 nights of my hotel were paid for, and it was spring break, and my child was leaving to go to the beach, and I really had nothing. I knew I was going to be by myself anyway, and so I'm like, what the heck? So I tagged on 2 extra days, like from my original days that I was going to be there. I tagged on 2 extra, and originally when I booked this a long time ago, I thought like, well, somebody will go with me, you know, a dude or a girlfriend or somebody. I'll get somebody to go with me. Well, then that did not happen. And so I almost canceled it. And then I thought, no, I'm going to do it. And if I just sit in the hotel room and cry and have a pity party for myself, because I'm in New York by myself, then we'll just leave. Yeah. That'll be what we do.
Possible, by the way.
And I went, and when I first got there, I kind of thought like, oh, this is going to be rough. Like, I don't know this is going to be rough. It's going to be bad. Like, I was a little scared. I ended up having the best time. Like, I didn't want to come home.
You can write your name in flowers. You can write your name in the sand, just like Miley said. Come on. You can do all that.
I mean, I feel like there were a couple times where people were kind of looking at me like, what's her story? Yeah. Like, what's this poor lonely girl doing at this cafe by herself? But
I'm waiting on someone.
I was at one point, I was sitting at this cafe eating breakfast. This fun little cafe in Chelsea. The name of the cafe was Jack's wife, Frida. That's the name of the cafe, which I wanted to know.
Frida had to run the place.
He must love some Frida to own name the
No, but Jack gave her the money to open the cafe.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah. Anyway, I was sitting there by myself, and at one point, my waitress came over. She was like, "Are you going to be using this chair?" So I was at a table for 2, and I was like, "No." And she just kind of looked at me, and she was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to take it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, now I feel extra lonely, but you have the chair. Yeah. Please take the chair." But I did all kinds of things. I went to Chelsea Market. I went to an art museum. I went and hung out at this awesome restaurant and met like these. It ended up being like in the gay residential area of Chelsea, which when I wandered into it, I had no idea. So I was kind of the only straight person in there. It was men, all men,
You
and
look around
me.
and you're like, I am the only.
And I made so many friends. That's where I watched basketball in this wonderful restaurant with these wonderful new gay friends of mine.
They smell so nice.
They
and
were
they're
so
handsome.
incredible. We had
Yeah.
great conversation.
Great eyebrows.
We drank a lot and had laughed and watched basketball, and it was really fun. I met an executive from Estee Lauder at the bar one night, and we exchanged numbers, and like I just made all these friends.
Guy or girl?
Girl.
Okay.
I mean, no men. There was no like no one hit on me. No one really talked. I mean, I met friends, but like it wasn't a sexual thing.
To sit there and just talk to people and not be like.
No, it was really fun.
Michael says forgetting Sarah Marshall vibes.
Yeah.
He was alone on that trip, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what airline did you fly?
Delta.
Okay, because like when I'm flying by myself, I love Southwest because I'll take any seat I want. Southwest is terrible to fly on when you're flying with a group of people.
Yeah.
Because
But you're right.
Oh my God! But when you're flying by yourself.
Oh, when I used to fly back in the day, I flew
always
Southwest
fly
all the
by
time.
myself, so.
And like I would be on the plane, or if I was getting on the plane and I saw somebody that looked interesting, I would sit there.
Yeah.
But I was always, if I sat first and I saw somebody interesting coming, I was wondering, are they going to sit?
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
I was
By interesting, you mean good looking?
Just
They might
interesting.
be able to tell a good story. They looked like she looked like she could tell a good story. I don't know.
Hey, so when I'm out of town by myself, which I've only been a few times, but I had to go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish country.
I love Lancaster.
Yeah, so when I went up there, like when I would meet people, they'd be like, "Are you by yourself?" And I was able to tell them the story about my lost pet. But like when I was in like Vegas by myself, I would be like, "Man, I'm with a couple of guys, and they drank all day at the pool, and they are passed out."
So you didn't want to own it?
No, I mean because like a guy in Vegas, I mean that seems kind of like a predator
I
a little
told
bit,
him.
right?
People would be like, "Are you by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "Why?" And I just told them the story. Like I had a speaking engagement. No one would come with
You
me.
weren't like, "I'm on the clock right now."
No, I just was like, I had a speaking gig and no one would come with me, so I'm here by myself. I had a great time.
I would do that all the time when I traveled by myself. Like
So would you rather travel by yourself or with a friend?
It depends. Like sometimes if I'm traveling with a friend and they make all the plans and I don't have to do anything,
Nice. Yeah.
I'm like, just tell me what time to be up. I'll be in the car.
Yeah.
But other times it is nice to be by yourself because you're like, I want to go have a steak tonight. And you'll
Yeah.
go and you'll just, I mean, I remember sitting in New Orleans at Morton's, like at a one top in the bar, having my steak, having my red wine. It was, I even took my book. I was like, I'd read my book. I'd watch a little TV. It's delightful sometimes.
I would, I don't mind. Like bigger groups is where it starts sucking.
Okay.
But I've gotten to the point now that like a group of guys will go out of town, 8 of us, and I'll be like, this is what I want to do. If you guys don't want to do it, it's cool. We'll meet back later on.
Yeah.
And I think girls and guys are different like that. Like girls, more so, you've got the alpha or two in a group that are like, this is what we're doing, and we're staying together.
Mm-hmm.
But not for guys.
But you also don't like being by yourself.
In life, probably, but in
Travel occasionally.
occasionally is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just because generally you are not.
You're
By
right.
yourself.
But I think most guys are like that, right? Is that fair, or is that stereotyping guys?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that anybody wants to travel alone. Like, I don't know that anybody's like, I want to travel alone.
I'm going to Machu
But I think
Picchu by
some
myself.
people
All
are
right.
more comfortable and able to do it than others or whatever. Anyway, I mean, I travel by myself all the time with work, but I've not done like vacation stuff like I did in
Like
New York
Turks
by
and Caicos.
myself,
If somebody used to give you a trip and they were like, you got to go alone.
Oh, hell yeah, I'd go. I go. Because I'm that.
Would you go alone, just leave
all
the family? Brandon, you got them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried more like
Be
safety and like, but the cool thing that saved me was I did have the speaking gig, and then the company that hired me was an Irish company out of Ireland. So all the execs were Irish. Those people can freaking party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I had that night
Those are my
where they had rented out bars, and like it was a crazy. Those people, like I left them at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and they were still going. I was like, y'all, peace out.
I'm tapping out.
And they were still going. So that was like kind of my fun,
Yeah.
party scene night. And the rest of the time I just kind of chilled. But funny story, I met the Estee Lauder woman at the hotel bar.
Mhm.
And she's like not ready to call it a night. And it's like midnight. And she's like, hey, we were staying at a hotel that had like one of the most popular rooftop bars in New York City. So she was like, let's go up to that rooftop. And I'm like, oh God. But I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, why were y'all not at the rooftop to begin with?
Because there was a long ass line. We had on 3 times the amount of clothing that anybody in the line had on. We were everybody old enough to be everybody's
It was a
mom.
totally different scene.
Totally different.
Totally
it was like a
different
club
scene.
vibe. Like I'm kind of like.
Was it the Gansevoort?
No, it's the lounge. It's PhD rooftop lounge. Okay. Anyway, so we go get in the line. We get to the front of the line. First,
are y'all ready for some
front of the
whiskey?
line. Yeah.
Will you take a little whiskey?
Yeah, that's.
And the guy says $300 bar tab minimum.
No.
At midnight, I'm like, I'm out.
No.
At this
Yeah,
point,
but
if
that's
I
like-
drink $300 worth of liquor,
That's
I'm
6
fine.
drinks in New York.
Probably, but good
still, it's
Lord.
midnight.
Yeah.
So we started laughing. We were like, I know a lot of things I can do with $300, and that ain't one of them.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that's I like the downstairs bar. I love a good like nice hotel vibe and a good.
Again, Constellation Brands, Naomi, which we love.
Oh, we do.
Does
They just
not
wanna-
own this
They just want to
whiskey
take a
company,
nip of
bourbon,
a little
whatever it is.
whiskey because it's International Whiskey Day, which I didn't even realize. I typically don't drink whiskey on Mondays. I do on Tuesdays for Bama and Bourbon, so make sure you turn into that
Why
tomorrow.
don't you drink whiskey on a Monday?
Very disappointing end of the season for Alabama basketball, but we'll get into that
That is like a
tomorrow.
little pecan taste.
Okay, let's shift. Again, Blakelee's Bouquets, birthday flowers, baby gifts, anniversary
Easter.
arrangements, Easter, Mother's Day coming up, Blakelee'sBouquets.com, and of course, Constellation Brands. Pick up some Naomi. Get that at all grocery stores, package stores. So adulting.
Yeah.
You had yearly appointment.
Yeah.
So how about this? I got to go see the ENT tomorrow.
Okay,
Why?
Yes, the tonsils.
So,
Oh.
well, and you know what? I don't have to go to the ENT. I've got to go to where they test you for the anesthesia because I've never had surgery before.
You've never had surgery before. Oh my
And I was trying to make it through life without surgery.
I've had about 60.
But so they got to test me tomorrow on that. I'm getting my tonsils out next Thursday.
They have to test you before they can put you to
Yeah,
sleep?
they got to make sure you don't have any reaction to whatever, I guess. So anyway,
I don't think anyone tested me. They were like, maybe she'll
I
die.
love that question. They're like, "You ever had trouble with anesthesia?" You're like, "That bitch, I swear." We've had it.
I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous about this because I've never
Oh,
had it
it'll be
before.
fine.
And then I've heard from everyone how bad it is to get the tonsils out.
Well, I've never had mine out, but I've heard it's a lot worse as an adult.
But it'll be done.
Yeah, have you seen how big my tonsils are?
No. Ew.
Just check them out because I don't want to get them out, but I don't know what else to do because when I get like any kind of tonsillitis,
You know what they say about a guy with big tonsils?
Yep.
So.
look, just look.
I'm scared. Oh my God. How do you breathe?
Yeah.
There's a very narrow passageway
I
there.
know.
I know,
Do you
and-
snore?
I think a little bit,
Okay.
but when I get tonsillitis, like they got this close, and that's why I finally decided to do it because I couldn't breathe. I was up all night because I was afraid I was going to choke out. So I need to get it done. I just don't want to get it done.
Well, I know that's
I'm gonna have to
doctor's
put ice
appointments
in
at this age are just
Okay, here's my problem.
okay. At what age?
When you're
do
20,
people- at what age do people start going together? Because you go and you only see the old couples there.
Yeah.
At what age does that happen?
I don't know. I'm gonna be not having a
No, I'll go.
old
with you.
person
I
to
mean,
go with me.
No, I tell you what it is. It's the age when something bad could be like
Wrong.
disclosed. Yeah.
Well, that's apparently today for me. Shit.
What happened?
Every
What's
time I
wrong
go
with
to
you?
the doctor, something's wrong with me. Like when you're 20 and you go to the yearly, it's like, oh, I'm going to be 15 minutes. They're going to like, and then I'm done. Like do the eye exam, and I'm out. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of doctor it is. Every time I go, it's like, have a seat. I'm like, what the hell?
What do they do?
Oh, like today, I've apparently got shit going on with my eyes, and now I've like had to get these special eye drops, and I have to come back in 3 weeks and get my eyes dilated, and there's stuff wrong with them, and I can't see, which I knew I couldn't see, but apparently it's worse than I thought it was.
Is this the eye doctor? Or
Yes!
is this like okay?
The eye doctor. And
See,
then last week I went to the, last time I went to get my teeth cleaned, it was like, oh, you got to get a crown here and a crown there, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, why?
This age
What?
sucks. You fall
They
apart.
should give us actual crowns when we go in there.
I mean, like, I just want to, there's a part of me that's like, just take all my teeth out, replace, like take the eyeballs out, replay. Like, can we just, is there like at 45, can we just have a complete
That's how I feel about like my boobs and
redo?
uterus. I want them all just
Yeah.
everything that's a ticking time
Like,
bomb.
read it.
Out, done. I don't need it. I'm done. Had 4 kids.
How often are you supposed to get the eyes checked? Because
once a year, or your insurance will pay for it once a year.
so 969-8100 Michelson Laser Vision. So I got that procedure done 20 years ago, and I just had somebody text me about it today, and so they're calling to get a free consultation tomorrow. But I hadn't been to the eye doctor in like 15 years.
Can you still read though without readers or anything?
Oh yeah, I can like
see. I can't read
that
so
across
I
cyber
can't
sports.
see.
The next round talks
I
it
can see
sports.
that. Yeah.
Talk format into the modern media world.
You wear
I was on-
glasses.
I was
Are
on
yours
45.
prescription,
Mine
like
are.
progressive?
Mine are. I've got
Okay.
what trifocals.
Do you
mine.
go? See, I'm on like the every 2-year plan.
I should go every year, but I'm like
I go every 2,
I'm
just
getting
because.
my eyes dilated. That's like the old.
So colonoscopy?
I haven't done that yet.
haven't done that yet.
Drink.
You want to shit in a box, don't you?
I'm not going in for the real thing.
I would do it.
I'll do the colon guard thing.
But it's not as accurate.
Well,
And here's the thing.
I'm not subject to.
So I finally got it done
whatever.
a year ago or 2 years ago, and the prep completely sucked.
Mhm.
Like I can't tell you how bad it sucked.
That's why.
But once I went in, it was like
you have
that.
anesthesia for that.
Yeah, but it was different. It's
They
not
twilight you.
Yeah, whatever it is. Wake up feeling great.
Yeah.
But then they were like, okay, you're good for 10 years. So I'm good for 10
What are
years.
you good for with the colon guard?
It's not as accurate.
Yeah,
so you
that's
might
not
be
fun.
clear, but then
I'm
you
not
might not.
prone,
Well, and they've lowered the age. That's
and
what,
I'm only 45.
that's what hit me hard when I went for my annual with the OBGYN. She's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and schedule for colonoscopy. I'm like, but I'm 48. She's like, oh, they've said now 45 and up. So I checked because one of the
Yeah.
dads on our volleyball team is a GI, and he's like, yeah, 45. I'm like,
I know.
See,
Yeah,
I think at 45 I'll do colon guard. At 50 I'll go in and do the real
Okay.
deal.
Are you just saying
Don't
that?
make me do it any earlier than I have to.
I like dodging
Especially
phone calls.
right
Yeah,
now.
but what is worse, shitting in a box or going in and getting the real thing done?
Yeah, I think,
The real thing.
dude, poop in a box.
I
that's
poop every
nothing.
day.
Oh
What are you
my
talking
gosh,
about?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things. John said at 44 he fell apart. I haven't yet.
Okay,
but-
well you're younger than I am. I'm telling you, it's coming. It was
does I mean,
43. I started.
tonsils are odd though. You don't usually hear about tonsils at age 50.
No. Well, I mean, again, it's selective.
I know,
It's
but, like,
whether or
you
not I
don't
want
usually
to
hear
choke
about-
out my sleep, but
You don't usually
I
hear
still
about.
have my tonsils.
This is when I do too.
you don't have any tonsils.
Yes, I do.
Well, you can't see them.
They're in there.
But see that's one of those that usually it's like either you've taken care of it or it's
Yeah, I
Yeah,
should
you
have.
should.
Like, if I could go back, I remember, I'll never forget, we had been out all night. I woke up in the parking lot of a place I worked, and I had a sore throat, and I just looked in the rearview mirror, and it was just like overnight they popped up. So I've had these since 17,
okay.
and I've just dealt with it.
Do the kids have big tonsils? Either.
Oh, no, they
kids
both
or
got them out.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I got to get the adenoids out, too.
Yeah, that fascinates me how they do all that stuff. Like, how do they?
Well,
get
they've got,
there?
now it's like a small pin where they just come in and they just sear it out.
Mhm.
But they said the worst problem is you have open sores
There's
for
two open
about a
sores in-
week.
Yeah.
And so you got to watch those. Like, can't work out for 10 days, can't eat solid foods for 10 days.
No,
It's good. It's
don't
good.
Be good weight
Summer diet. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's
Hmm.
don't
Maybe
eat,
I should consider.
don't eat or drink anything red because then it could be mistaken. Like if it for some reason it comes back up red, it's not blood. It's like the popsicle or the Gatorade.
Oh.
So don't do red.
He
Popsicle or
actually
Gatorade.
told me, I hate to admit this, but the guy that's doing it was like, I mean, if you can swallow it, he was like, you can drink bourbon or beer or whatever.
Well,
It'll make you
and
feel better.
also stay
I'm all
on,
for that.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
gonna
Stay on
be,
your meds.
I'm all
Stay
for
on your
that.
meds.
I'm gonna
Like
blend
that.
some edibles up in a smoothie.
Yeah, that's all good.
Stay on your meds. Stay ahead of the
Y'all don't
pain.
have teeth stuff going on? Am I the only
Oh, I
person with teeth stuff?
I do know. I've had the root canal. I have to go get the crown on now.
I knocked all mine out 25 years ago. So yeah, I still deal with teeth stuff.
Oh my god, it's like I'm like I have vagina stuff, I have teeth stuff, I have eye stuff, I have skin stuff, I have
I know.
what the
I know.
It's
I'm
getting
telling you,
old.
35 is the
Boob
perfect
stuff.
age to stay forever. Okay, John says
And
ice
that's-
cream.
What that sounds like? What is it for the line from Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Like I keep getting older
No.
and they stay the same.
No. That is from
I'm sorry. That is
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused with Matthew.
That's what I
McConaughey.
love about them high school women.
did y'all watch
I get older
Succession
and they stay
premiere
the
last
same
night?
age. Yeah, it was fantastic, I thought.
I watched, so I went back and watched the last episode of season 3
Yeah.
because I felt like, okay, I need to make sure.
I did a marathon
So I
yesterday,
watched all
laying
of
on the
that.
couch.
And then I watched the first episode. Oh my god, I just freaking love that show.
It's the most intelligent show I think ever written.
the writing
is incredible.
because there's so many
It's
like
just-
one-liners
it's nonstop.
that are hilarious,
Yeah.
I
but
love
then
Kieran
it's so
Culkin.
dark and like
Oh.
serious.
Kieran Culkin on that show is hilarious.
Oh.
Like
He is
a nut.
Roman.
He's
Roman.
brilliant.
Nut, and I love him because you're like, I don't know if he's serious when he says half this shit or
You
if
know
he's
who else?
just rolling
I
with
love
it.
Kendall on there because Kendall's like, hey, hi, hello. And then it's like, it takes like 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? But like the acting.
Do you
is so
do you
good.
remember in the season 3 when they were talking about the PR? They came in and they're like, okay, this is how we're gonna the cruise ship episode. This is how we're going to take this on head on. Our motto is "We get it," and Roman was like all those women on the boat did. I mean, shit like that. That's for the masses, for the politically correct. I don't think it's funny, but that shit kills me.
really
Did you ever
funny.
watch Veep?
Oh, yes.
I never
Oh my
watched
gosh.
Veep.
It's funny.
That is, you want to talk about quick
It's funny,
one-liners,
yeah.
so not politically correct.
I wonder
and
if
it is
they
just-
hear any of the writers. They could.
I mean, that is one of the funniest shows I've ever
Okay.
watched.
Any closing thoughts?
Spring break week. So if anybody here in like the Birmingham area, it's spring break week. So if you need to go to a restaurant or someplace that's usually too crowded, this is
the
to go.
week.
Casey, buddy of mine, just tuned in, and I hear I have vagina stuff. You never know what's going to be discussed on these.
Oh my gosh.
Brittany Wagner.
Sorry.
Yeah. And you're looking
But
for,
I do.
and she's looking for a dude. Kelly Hunter. Special thanks to Blakelee's Bouquets, Blakelee'sBouquets.com. Wedding flowers, as you said, Easter, funeral flowers, new baby gifts, birthday flowers. They've got it covered for you guys. And Constellation brands, the Maomi. It's a great wine. You can get it in the Pinot. They've got a Chardonnay that we're drinking. They've got a cab. So really good stuff there. But appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back next Tuesday, but we will remind you at 3:30.
What are y'all gonna be talking about tomorrow on TNR?
Oh, Alabama's run is done, so I don't know.
UAB.
We'll figure something
When do
out.
they play?
Yeah, UAB tomorrow night too.
When is
a little bit.
when's spring?
It's already started.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah. So
we gotta talk
we'll
about that, of
have
course.
plenty to talk about.
I never worry about y'all having anything to talk about.
And-
Y'all
Be safe. Thank you for joining us here on Next Round Cocktail Hour. We'll see you next week.